Good evening, everyone. I'm Robert Lominack, and I'd like to call this regular board meeting of the Richland 1 School Board of Commissioners to order. It is Tuesday, October 28th, 2025 at 6:02 p.m. We're located at Columbia High School, 1701 West Chester Drive, Columbia, South Carolina. Pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, all persons, organizations, and media outlets, as requested, have been notified of the time, date, place, and agenda of this meeting. Thank you all for being here and making it out here in this weather. Before we get to the agenda, we do have an invocation by the Reverend Gerald Salmond, pastor of Ladstone Presbyterian Church. Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you. I find it quite fitting that we will be celebrating our 50th class reunion from Columbia High School next weekend.
Okay.
So we're going to praise God for that opportunity to be here today. And by the way, before I even get started, my father says hello. We used to be a part of this school board, and wants everybody to know that he's cheering you on and know that you're doing the work.
All right.
You're called to do. Let us pray. Father God, we pause here tonight, first of all, to say thank you. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for all you do. And thank you for another chance for your people to do good work, to make wise choices, and to serve this community. We thank you right now, God, for every board member. We thank you for our superintendent, for every administrator, every teacher, every student, every parent, and every person who cares about what happens in our schools. Lord, you know the challenges that we face. Funding that's uncertain, policies that shift, and needs that grow faster than our resources. But you also know, God, that your plan unfolds in your time. So while we might not all see it tonight, we trust that you are working behind the scenes, aligning hearts and shaping decisions and guiding steps. So we pray right now, God, that you give this board the wisdom that not just listens, but hears. Visions that look forward and see past the right now into the future. And the courage to do what's right, even though it might be difficult. So we ask that you cover each teacher with patience and strength, and cover our students and surround them with protection and purpose, and encourage every parent and every guardian with hope. And keep our whole community united around what really matters. And it's all about the future of our children. So let every discussion tonight be done with respect. Let every decision honor the dignity of those who are served. And when we all leave this place, and the lights are dim and off and the doors are locked, we pray that all who have come here tonight will be able to say that we did the best we could with what we had for the people we love and for the God we serve. So we thank you in advance for the wisdom, for vision, for safety, and the peace that surpasses all understanding when we walk in step with your will, because it's your plan in your time. In your heavenly, majestic, awesome, salvific name we pray. And the people of God who love God all said, amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend Salmon. All right, we do have an agenda before us. Can I get a motion?
Move to adopt the agenda as printed.
Second.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Devine to adopt the agenda. Any questions or discussion? I'll call for the vote. I would like to note that we have all 7 commissioners here tonight. The motion passes unanimously. The agenda is adopted. We'll move on to 4.01, Superintendent's Report, presented by Dr. Walker.
Welcome to this meeting's Superintendent's Report, presented by our Superintendent, Student Ambassador.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Mickey Ton. I'm currently a junior at AC Flora High School. I'm president of the French Club, and we host monthly meetings where we talk about French culture. I hope to earn my seal of biliteracy by senior year. I'm pleased to present the Superintendent's Report for October 28th. Watkins Nance Elementary was flying high during Aerospace Day on October 24th. The school-wide event allowed students to learn about STEM and aerospace through hands-on activities. Watkins Nance is home to Richland 1's elementary school BLAST Magnet program. BLAST stands for Building Lasting Aerospace and STEM Trajectories. Richland 1 held a news conference at the Stevenson Administration Building on October 24th to announce the honorees who will be inducted into the Richland 1 Hall of Fame this year. The induction gala will be held January 10th at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. The Richland 1 Hall of Fame honors district alumni and other persons who have made significant contributions to Richland 1, their professions, their communities, and society. The Richland 1 Hall of Fame was established in 2004. 41 Richland 1 art students received honors and awards in the 2025 South Carolina State Fair's Youth Art Competition. In addition to the student winners, Dreher High School art teacher Mary Catherine Rains received the South Carolina State Fair Student Art Education Teacher Award for the high school division for the second year in a row. Congratulations to all. Dreher High School student Collins Coffey is spending her senior year dancing in the Royal Winnipeg Ballet School in Canada. The school's goal is to nurture the next generation of dancers and help them achieve their goals on and off stage. Collins is studying under the school's professional division. In recognition of Clergy Appreciation Day, which was celebrated October 12th, Hopkins Middle School invited local clergy members to visit the school. Thank you to Beulah Baptist Church, Ladson's Chapel Baptist Church, and all of our faith-based partners for your continued support of our students and schools. The rock band Gooding played a special performance at Hopkins Middle School as part of nonprofit Funding the Future's Fall 2025 Financial Literacy Tour. The nonprofit's goal is to bring live music to schools while teaching students about financial literacy. Congratulations to Satchel Ford Elementary for winning the first ever Palmy Region Award from the South Carolina Alliance for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance. The award recognizes schools that excel at cultivating environments where students learn and thrive through movement. Congratulations to AC Flora High School senior Louise Vipperman on being named the South Carolina High School League's Girls Student Athlete of the Month for September. Louise, who is the student body vice president, excels in the classroom with a 5.093 GPA and on the golf course and lacrosse field with all region and all state honors. She is active in the girls' choir at Trinity Episcopal Church and has participated in mission work abroad. Way to go, Louise. The South Carolina Department of Education has selected Alcorn Middle School as a recipient of the Nita M. Lowy 21st Century Community Learning Centers grant for the 2025-2026 school year. The program, which is funded by the U.S. Department of Education, awards schools and community learning centers that are dedicated to providing enrichment opportunities for students beyond the traditional school day. The grant, which is worth over $140,000, will help expand Alcorn's after-school programs, offer more targeted academic support, and create a safe, enriching environment where students can thrive beyond the classroom. W.A. Perry Middle School has been named a 2025-2026 Common Sense School. The designation recognizes schools who are dedicated to helping students and families use technology responsibly. That's it for this week's Superintendent's Report. Keep up with all the great things happening in Richland 1 by visiting our website at richland1.org and following us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm Mickey Ton. Au revoir, salut, à bientôt.
And that's this week's Superintendent's Report. So thank you, Mickey, for presenting today's Superintendent's Report. Mickey mentioned that she is working to earn a South Carolina seal of biliteracy before she graduates. I'd like to note that Richland 1 ranks 6th in the state amongst districts with the highest number of students earning seals of biliteracy during the 2024-25 school year. 114 Richland 1 students earned 123 seals of biliteracy, which is a new district record. Mickey also noted that we announced the 5 members of the 2026 Richland 1 Hall of Fame induction class on Friday. Congratulations again to the induction class members. I enjoyed meeting and learning about their achievements and contributions to Richland 1, and we look forward to honoring them in January. Lastly, on Thursday, October the 30th, we will hold the last of our community listening and learning sessions. I did let the community know because I said we'll be back by popular demand. We'll call it still listening and learning, but not at the cadence that we've been moving at. But our last one for the community for this part of the year will be our October 30th, and this session will be held from 6 to 7 at the Challenger Learning Center. We also will hold 2 listening and learning sessions next week, the first week in November, for district employees only. Thank you, Mr. Chair and Board. That's all for the superintendent's report.
As always, thank you, Dr. Walker. Does any board member have any questions or comments regarding the superintendent's report? All right, we will move on. I would like to note that 5.01 public participation, no one signed up for public comment tonight, and therefore we will move on to the consent agenda. We have 4 items listed on the consent agenda tonight. 6.01, minutes from the regular meeting on October 14th, 2025. 6.02, September 2025 monthly financial report, abbreviated executive summary. 6.03, contract extension, firewall annual maintenance renewal. 6.04, contract cloud-based data warehouse solution. Does any member wish for me to pull any of those items from the consent agenda? Can I get a motion?
Chair, I do give a motion for us to accept the consent agenda as stated before.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Bishop, seconded by Commissioner Weston. I assume there are no comments or questions? All right, then we'll call for the vote. All right, that motion passed unanimously. So we'll move on to 7.01, non-board approved contracts, $50,000 to $249,999.99, presented by Ms. Hodges.
Good evening, Board Chair, Board members, and Superintendent. Please see the attached report for purchase orders between $50,000 and $249,999 for the period of September 1 to September 30th, 2025. There are 13 items on that list. This is presented as information. Be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Hodges. This is an information item only, but are there any questions for Ms. Hodges? Commissioner Bishop.
Thank you, Chair. Just wanted to get some confirmation and information on what was the cost for city year for last year. What was the cost?
For city year,
Yeah, I'm looking at city year, 9/16/2025, extended stay.
this $205,000.
Was that, no, the previous year,
The
right?
previous year, I'd have to get that information for you, sir. I don't have that on hand.
Please send that to me. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Hodges. We'll move on to 7.02, request for reallocation of fund balance, presented by Ms. Bing.
Good evening, Board Chair, members of the Board, Dr. Walker. The administration is requesting approval of the reallocation of a portion of the fiscal year 23-24 general fund unassigned fund balance for the following fiscal year 25-26 project. That project is personnel for the Williams Byers Residential Treatment Center for 2 teachers, 2 instructional assistants, and 1 assistant principal, totaling $525,000. The administration so recommends.
Thank you. Does anybody have a, well, first, I guess we've got a recommendation by the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Devine, and was that Commissioner Clyburn? And a second by Commissioner Clyburn. Any questions or discussion? All right, just to provide a little context, because I want to make sure the public understands that we're not starting or building a residential treatment center. This is a Department of Juvenile Justice initiative, but because it is being built in our footprint, we are responsible for staffing it. So that's what these positions are for. Any other comments or questions? All right, I'll call for the vote.
Excuse me, Chair, before the
Commissioner
vote goes,
Bishop.
there's no objection to the vote, okay? Just a question. How much is the state providing? Is there any question about how much the state, or any answer to support this?
Not that I know of.
Dr. Williams.
Yes, the state at this point is not providing any funding. Recovery Solutions will be providing a portion of the funding, but the State Department of Education of South Carolina is not providing any funding.
Interesting. All right. So we are mandated to do this, but with no state support. Is that what I'm hearing? All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Any follow-ups? All right, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Bing. We'll move on to Office of the Board, 8.01, second reading of policy BEA, live streaming of board meetings, presented by Dr. Richardson.
Greetings, Chairman Lomanak, Commissioners, and Dr. Walker. The first policy is BEA, live streaming of board meetings, which is a new policy mandated by the state and legislation earlier this year. Proposed policy BEA has gone through the Administration Committee, first reading, and is being presented tonight for second and final reading. The administration recommends adoption.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Weston, seconded by Commissioner Moore. Any questions or discussion? Commissioner Devine.
Let me ask a quick question. Typically on policies, isn't there a 30-day wait period between first and second reading?
No, that's not a mandate, no.
It's not board policy?
I will double check, but I'm not aware of that.
But it was presented at the last meeting, right? The 14th, October the 14th board
Correct.
meeting?
For first reading, yes.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you.
I will double check that for you, though.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, I'll call for the vote.
Yes.
That motion passes unanimously. We'll move on to 8.02, second reading of policy BE, board meetings, presented by Dr. Richardson.
The next policy is BE board meetings, which is being revised to align with the new live streaming policy. Additional changes for clarification and best practices have also been added. Policy BE has also gone through Administration Committee, first reading, and is being presented for second reading and final approval. The administration recommends adoption.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Weston, seconded by Commissioner Moore to approve. Any questions or discussion? I'll call for the vote. That motion passes with 6 yeas, 1 no. We'll move on to 8.03, first reading of policy BDE, board committees, presented by Dr. Richardson.
The final policy, BDE, Board Committees, is being revised to change the Administration Committee to now be called the Audit and Administration Committee. Other changes have been made to align with committee structures moving forward. Policy BDE has been taken to the Administration Committee and is being presented tonight for first reading. The administration recommends approval of first reading.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Weston, seconded by Commissioner Moore to adopt the recommendation of the administration. Any questions or discussion? Commissioner Hersey.
Yeah, Commissioner Lomanek, I've read over it and looked over it again, and from my reading, when I read, I feel as though it says that the committees are as needed. However, we've been functioning as on a consistent basis. So is there any point where the wording would need to state such that it just seems like the committee meetings are a given? We know that we're going to meet as a committee every other week, unless there's not a board meeting that month. But the way this is reading, it's saying that it's standing committee, so that's just my only concern, and I can.
Can I address that?
Dr. Richardson.
So the as-needed language only applies to the special, advisory, and/or ad hoc committees. The standing committees are your regular committees that you have every month. So the as-needed language only applies to those committees that are created for a specific purpose, i.e., example would be the school naming committees that we have had in the past. So that's an example. And then once that is over, or the purpose of that committee has ended, then the committee goes away. But your standing committees are just that, for your monthly operating committees.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Hersey. Commissioner Bishop.
Chair, thank you, and maybe this is to Dr. Richardson. Audit committee has stood alone because it's not just administration, it's facilities, it's finance. Audit goes through the whole organization. Why is it aligned with the administration committee? Where did this language come from, and what brought about this change? And the third question may be, or the fourth and fifth question. There's a lot of questions flying out here, but let's just make sure this is not that we have to, Dr. Walker, but we get to. So we just be clear and transparent about what we're talking about.
Dr. Richardson, I'm happy to
Okay, I will let you.
tag you for a second.
Okay.
So previously, there was a separate standing audit committee. So there were 4 committees. And then that audit committee was disbanded, and the thought is to try to bring it back, but without creating yet another committee. And when we were looking at the different committees, we felt like it best fit with the administration committee, just given what they generally have on their plate. So it was trying to find one of the 3 standing committees so that it could be, a consistent meeting like our standing committees have been, but also not overburdening the board members with yet another committee meeting to have to come to. But you're right, Commissioner Bishop. I mean, technically, we could have tagged audit onto any of these 3 things. No matter what, it would still be a committee of, 2 board members, no matter what we did. So it was, we thought the administration might be the most appropriate out of the 3 for it to be tagged onto, but that was the thought process. I don't know if Dr. Walker's got any more to add to that.
No, I think that's right. The administration committee, of all the other 2 committees, had the least amount of substance to it in terms of what we typically would be talking about. Typically, what we were bringing through the administration committee was just policies, and so and sometimes there were other human resource related, transformational sort of policy impacting issues that we would discuss. But, of the 3, that's where we thought would be the best fit. And audit is not something that's necessarily going to report every month. It probably will be more bi-monthly or quarterly. where Mr. Washington would be giving a report. So I think that we were able to cover our bases, but that was the rationale.
And if I could just add, and this is not directed at you because I know you know this, but just for the viewing public, committees do not vote or conduct any action. So I just wanted to remind folks of that. I know you knew that, but continue on. I didn't want to interrupt.
No, I was, Dr. Richardson, you need to add anything? Are we good?
No, sir.
All right.
You good?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Commissioner Bishop. Any other questions or comments? All right, I'll call for the vote. All right, that motion passes with 6 ayes, 1 no. We'll move on to 9.01, second reading approval of the 2026-2027 academic calendar presented by Dr. Williams.
Good evening, Chairman Lominack, board members, and Dr. Walker. The district's calendar committee developed 2 draft calendars, Draft A and Draft B, for consideration for the 2026-2027 academic school year. The calendar committee then sought input from stakeholders through an online survey. Based on the priorities identified by the calendar committee, feedback from stakeholders, and review by the executive leadership team, the administration recommends second reading approval of the 2026-2027 academic calendar Draft B. The administration so recommends.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Weston, seconded by Commissioner Moore. Any questions or discussion? All right, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Dr. Williams. We'll move on to 9.02, Underperforming Schools Quarterly Update, presented by Dr. Minor.
Good evening, Commissioner Lominack, Dr. Walker, Board of Commissioners, and Cabinet members. Pursuant to South Carolina Code 5918-1615, an underperforming school is defined as a school receiving an overall school report card rating of below average or unsatisfactory. This rating is assigned every year when report card ratings are released. Additionally, for schools with unsatisfactory ratings, the revised strategic plan, once approved by the local school board and the State Department of Education, must be included on the local school board meeting agenda at least once a quarter. This is the second quarterly update by the 4 schools designated as unsatisfactory during the 2023-2024 school year: Burton Pack, C.A. Johnson, E.E. Taylor, and Watkins Nance. Each school has prepared its status in its plan by outlining its accomplishment in all 3 goals since the board approved each school's improvement plans in January of 2025. We are excited to say that from our current calculations, Richland County School District 1 will not have any unsatisfactory schools on the new 24-25 school report card ratings that are scheduled to be released this coming Monday, November 3rd. This is an information item only.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments for Dr. Minor? Commissioner Devine.
Thank you. Same questions I had in committee. After this quarter, and if all goes well according to that last statement that you said, what happens to quarterly reporting?
Correct.
Schools.
Right. So what will happen is any of our schools that are rated below average, they will go through this same process. We will receive more guidance from the state. They will go through and create, based on their school strategic plans, they will create another 3 goals that will come to the school board in January for you to approve, and that will be for any below average and unsatisfactory schools. Since we are hoping that we have no unsatisfactory schools, that will be the end of that. We will not have to come back and give any quarterly updates to the board based upon the proviso that the State Department has put out there or the legislature has passed.
All right. And then, so the announcement for the school report cards come out November 3rd?
Yes, sir.
Then we'll finally know what those.
Correct. The announcement, I believe, and it may be something Ms. York is going to share later, but it is going to be at our, oh, I can't say anything. Okay, sorry.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're so
Thank you,
welcome.
Chair.
Thank you, Karen. I'm glad I asked that question.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Devine. Commissioner Clyburn, and then Commissioner Hersey.
Thank you so much, Dr. Minor, for that great announcement. So you mentioned some things just now, and they may speak to my question about the improvement plan that was put in place in 2025. I think we all can say that it worked, and we're definitely glad to hear that. But going from what Commissioner Devine just asked and your answer, would that plan still be, I guess, would adjustments be made to that plan? Guess I'm trying to get clarity from your answer, and I may want you to expound on it a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Would some improvements or not improvements, adjustments be made to that plan, or would you shift and, maybe move to something different?
Right, and just
progress?
like just like those school strategic plans, just like our district strategic plan that we revamp every 5 years, these plans are fluid, and so the schools are meeting, I want to say monthly, if not even weekly, on their plans and what they're doing. I know that teaching and learning and the EDs are meeting with the schools regularly, and they're always looking over their goals. And if they get 2 weeks in and they find, you know what, this goal really isn't working, then they can go ahead and change that and start working on it. And that's what we're going to be doing with our strategic plan. Now that Dr. Walker is here and he's gone to the listening and learning sessions, we have a plan already, but we pull it off the shelf and we make sure that we change anything. I know some of the goals that we've set in our district plan, we've already met some of those goals. So it truly is a fluid document, and you want it to be that. It is a living document that you can go in and say, hey, this worked, I need to set a higher goal because we've done very well. Or this area hasn't done as well. What can we do? What can we change in consultation with teaching and learning and the EDs and our support system and what we have currently going on in the district? So yes, ma'am, it is a fluid document and always can be changing.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Hersey. Thank you, Commissioner Clyburn.
Yeah, just quick question, Dr. Minor. With 2 of the schools being elementary schools, is there a reason the goals were written differently?
No, ma'am. The State Department does not put a requirement out as long as the goals can be, they are SMART goals. Each school could kind of set their goals. Some of them went by, okay, this is what my report card rating was last year, and that's what I think got me to being unsatisfactory. And so I want to set my goals based on what my overall and different area report card scores are, where the high school is going to be looking at their end of course and their graduation rate. So it really is up to the principals of the schools what their goals will be and how they are going to work toward them.
So on school number 2, these are just points on the report card. These are not any achievement points.
Correct, but in order to change those points on the report card, you have to have the changes in your achievement. So if you are wanting your achievement score to go up by 5 points, then you are going to have have to have better test scores in your South Carolina Ready.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Commissioner Hersey. Commissioner Moore.
Really more of an observation than a question. For clarity, is there a way maybe in the future that we could note in these reports what year the test scores are that they use to set the goals, and then what year the goals were actually being followed, and then, what goal, just to kind of keep all that straight, because it gets kind of confusing sometimes to realize that the goals, the scores that we get on Monday, we've got to figure out how they fit into our plan.
Yes, sir, and it always seems like we are a year behind, which honestly we are, because the schools don't get identified until the report cards come out. Then they have to do another plan, and then that's approved by you in January and move forward. But yes, sir, that's something I'll write a note about, and we can add that into the goals to put that this is from the 23-24 school year and scores. So we can definitely do that, yes, sir.
It was confusing enough to me as a principal, and now as a board member, it's still not quite always clear.
Thank you, Commissioner Moore. Commissioner Devine.
Yes, ma'am. Can you, particularly for the high school, can you give 1 or 2 or 3 strategies as to how they achieve their goals to date to ensure that they hopefully will be off of this list?
You're referring to
I think he's stuck in traffic,
Yes.
but
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Okay, that'd be fine.
I snuck in on Dr. Coe the
Okay.
other day
All right.
and was able to spend some time with him. And so one of the things, and this isn't just a strategy that he's leveraging, but working with our teaching and learning department as well as AARE with Dr. Minor, really looking at how we're structuring courses, and so giving kids a double block experience and an opportunity to have sort of practice with the material the semester before they actually take the exam and they're scheduled for the class, because in many of our high schools we're on a 4x4. So they're able, like for example, for mathematics, they can take strategies the first semester, and then the next semester, gives them additional preparation. And so that's one way that they were able to sort of strategically look at targeting students who were close to getting to the next level of achievement. So that's one thing I can offer. Eunice, you may.
Yes, sir. I can add a couple of things. You're exactly right. I think there's real intentional preparation for the students prior to entering those courses. There's also a very clear effort to monitor and watch the data and progress monitor their students, so they know very early if a student is not being successful. They can adjust in real time for those children. So when you go in that building, you'll notice a lot of real specific ownership for children, not by just the administrators, but by the teachers as well. They're doing a phenomenal job of really tracking their data, looking at what's working, what's not working, and adjusting that. And that's not just true for the academic side, it's also true for their CCR side as well.
correct. And just, I know when he talked about AARE, he will call me, Dr. Prince will call me, and they'll say, Carol, we have a student coming in that only has this, this, and this. What can we do to make sure that this student graduates on time? And we all put our heads together and we come up with the best plan to make that student successful so that they can walk out with that high school diploma and being CCR ready.
Awesome.
And
So,
I was just going to add one more thing, if you don't mind, because if you look at his goal number 3, I think that's a real critical goal for us to mention, because that staff and the administration, they've worked really hard to look at absenteeism and student attendance and increase student attendance, and also really build a culture and a climate there that is really positive and is really leading to building that foundation for them so that kids really are excited about the work.
awesome. So, and you hit my next question, which was the absenteeism, and really it's not just Johnson, but across all 3 of these schools, which fall into my footprint. What are those strategies pertaining to absenteeism that we've seen over the last several years that have helped us with that absenteeism. I do know that a couple of schools are still relatively high, but it's cut in half to 50%. So you will go from 40% to 20%. Still high, but we did cut it in half. What are those strategies that you've seen?
And Dr. Walker, do you want me to answer? Okay. Let me first say to you, it'll always be a concern.
Correct.
Because we can't teach them a thing if they're not here, right? So we want to continue to see that number cut in half until it's just minimal. We have attendance teams at each site, and those attendance teams made up of multiple staff members, social worker, counselors, look at that data, invite parents in after the first few absences to say, is anything going on? What can we do to help? When those absences continue, there's a little bit more of a concerted effort to look at what can we do to support this family and also this child. So that team goes really deep in looking at how they can support not just the children, but the family as well. And there's also that whole culture and climate piece. We want to make our schools an exciting place, so children want to be there. So we're not having to sell them on just attending, but come and thrive and be a part of the work that we're doing. And schools like C.A. Johnson are a great example of that. They've made it exciting, and I think students are challenged, but kids want to be there, and you can feel that when you walk in the building.
Absolutely. And just one more thing I did want to bring up. They have been working exclusively with NIET, the National Institutes of Excellence in Teaching, yes. And they have been doing that for the past 3 years, and we believe that on top of everything else that they're doing, was able to get them off that CSI list, improving their graduation rate, making sure that teachers, are teaching at the level the students need to be able to be successful. And I know that partnership has truly worked well, and I believe some other schools are also partnering with NIET.
Awesome. Thank you. And let me just ask this one last question. Do we know the poverty rate in Richland 1? Overall poverty rate, does anybody know that?
Let me get that to you, because it has come out from the state, because it comes out during the report card rating. So let me get that to you. Yes, sir, I'll get that to you.
Would you feel comfortable that it's more than 60%?
I would say yes.
Okay.
It definitely more than 60%. I would say in the 70s.
So my premise behind that question is, we've moved this district, we've moved students, we continue to do that every year. Despite what others say, our goal in Richland 1 is to provide opportunities for all of our students to reach their goals and their potentials. And that's in our mission statement, our vision statement for this district. So I stand behind our students 100% as we move these students off of these lists, as they like to say, and designations, because we're doing the work. We're not doing it, but you all are doing the work. Our teachers are doing the work. The students are doing the work. So I'm appreciative of what happens in those classrooms every day. And I stand 10 toes down behind our staff each and every day to ensure that those students get what they need. I'm proud of them. It's taken some time, but we are where we are. I'm appreciative. So thank you all for the work. Thanks for monitoring. Thanks for all that you do each and every day. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Devine. Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Clyburn.
I concur.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Commissioner Clyburn. All right, that was an information item only, right?
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Dr. Miner. All right, before we move on to the next item, I do want to just take this moment to thank the folks at Columbia High School, the folks at the district for getting everything to this school, and the folks at the school for having it ready for all the stuff and all the people that come with it. I know that Dr. Washington, the principal of Columbia High School, I've had a lot of bosses over the years. She was one of them, and she was a great one. And I know she's doing great things here at Columbia High School, so thank you, Dr. Washington. All right, we do have an executive session agenda before us. Can I get a motion?
Move to go into executive session.
Second.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Weston, seconded by Commissioner Devine to enter executive session. Any questions or discussion? I'll call for the vote. That motion passes with a unanimous vote. I will read the executive session agenda items. 11.01, legal advice regarding contractual matter for vendor services presented by Dr. Richardson. 12.01, administrative appointment presented by Dr. Kumas. 12.02, approval of additional personnel presented by Dr. Kumas. 13.01, contractual matter regarding an MOU lease agreement presented by Dr. Walker. 13.02, contractual terms related to superintendent contract presented by Dr. Walker. With that, we will go into executive session. Thank you. All right, good evening. We are back from executive session. Can I get a motion?
Move that we come out of executive session.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Weston, seconded by Commissioner Clyburn, that we exit executive session. Any questions or discussion? I'll call for the vote. All right, that motion passes unanimously, so we are back on the agenda with 14.01, contractual terms related to superintendent, presented by Dr. Walker. Dr. Walker?
So ask that the board move to approve the superintendent's evaluation process.
All right, you've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Devine?
I move that we approve the superintendent's instrument that was presented to us in executive session.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Devine to approve the evaluation tool or instrument, and that's seconded by Commissioner Bishop. Thank you for the precision, Commissioner Devine. Any questions or discussion about that motion? All right, then I'll call for the vote. All right, that motion passes unanimously. And we'll move on to 15.01, administrative appointment presented by, I think, Ms. Rivers.
Good evening. The administration recommends the appointment of YG to the position of Facilities Management Coordinator for the 2025-2026 school year. The administration so recommends.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Devine to approve, seconded by Commissioner Clyburn. Any questions or discussion? I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. We'll move on to 15.02, approval of additional personnel presented by Ms. Rivers.
Thank you. Pursuant to board policy, the administration requests approval for William Byers Residential Treatment Center positions for the 2025-2026 school year. The administration so recommends.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Devine that was seconded by Commissioner Clyburn to approve the recommendation of the administration. Any questions or discussion? I'll call for the vote. right, that motion passes unanimously, so we will now move on to 16.01 board report. Do any commissioners have reports they'd like to present?
I have a question.
Commissioner Weston.
Good afternoon. I have a question. I know because of the government shutdown that a lot of our families have been affected. I know that we too, as a school district, have been affected by possibly getting some funds in. But are we doing anything differently with that, having that knowledge?
So thank you for the question, Commissioner Weston. So we have been impacted. However, we are able to use, as we communicated previously, carryover funds to continue to support all of the programming that we've been engaged in both during the day and after school.
Okay. So no other additional things because we too have to get funds.
Yes, at this point, what we are doing is to supplement the loss of funds using carryover dollars, but that's to maintain the current level of programming, not to do anything in addition to, because we also are being impacted by the loss of funds.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Weston. Any other board reports? Commissioner Hersey?
Yeah, I will say real quickly, Sean Merrick that spoke at the board meeting 2 weeks ago about the Arts Festival, I did attend his program Saturday evening, and we did have about 30 students from Hayward Career Center who were able to take part in that celebration. And it went really well, and I think the students thoroughly enjoyed seeing the models, and they received tips on makeup and hair, as well as a demonstration from a barber. So it was a successful event, and I thoroughly enjoyed attending there, and I want to thank him for coming out and inviting us to participate.
Thank you, Commissioner Hersey. Any other board reports? Commissioner Bishop.
Yeah, I'm not throwing a curveball out here, but I do want to be straightforward and tell the administration thank you for addressing the computer shortage. And I'm not sure if you need to provide any further update, Dr. Walker, that we are in the clear, students are taken care of. Because I know just last meeting you did speak towards the status, and it may be still some outstanding questions about computer assignments, and also maybe revisiting or reviewing the health of our computers with our teachers and staff as well moving forward. So if there's anything you need to address?
Thank you for the question. I think as we shared, and I think it bears repeating, the last time we were together, we are in a situation at this point where all middle school and high school students have been supplied a device. Now, whether they were supplied a device yesterday and something happened to it the next day, we know that teenagers will be teenagers. But ours is to make sure that they have a device and to make sure that we have a process for how we're dealing with loss prevention and maintenance of all of our devices, to include student devices and staff devices. Now, our process moving forward is to ensure that we have adequate devices for all of our students, and there will be some opportunity for engagement with parents as we continue to evaluate our strategy, because pre-K through 2, there may be an opportunity for us to do something different with those devices because of the age and the maturity of students and the way that we use those devices. That will allow us to extend the longevity of the devices that we have. We also will be bringing forth a policy around how we want to hold our students and families accountable for the devices, for the resources that are given. And it won't be so cost prohibitive that it will not allow for students to engage, but a nominal fee that does indicate that we want to ensure that everyone understands the value of the device. So at this point, we're in a positive position. We need to continue to, we're not taking our foot off the gas. We're going to continue to ensure that we're in the best position possible as we move forward into next year. We were, as shared previously, had been in a bit of a deficit in terms of ordering the amount of devices and having those devices warranted at the level that we wanted them to be. So I think there's an opportunity for us now to ensure that we're in a good position, a positive position, both in terms of students having what they need and in terms of us having a process of accountability for all of our stakeholders, to include staff and students.
All right, thank you so much. And Chairman, I just want to follow up on what was a question from Commissioner Commissioner Weston, about the state of our community as we are going to be impacted. To all of Richland 1, I think we need to ensure and encourage our students to show up to school every day during that foreseen crisis that's heading our way. Because what we can do, we can feed the children. We can feed the children. So as this may impact us not just financially, but chronic absenteeism can be a case in this type of crisis. Let's make sure we encourage our parents, our stakeholders, our community members. Please let your children come to school. No matter what it looks like moving forward, we're going to take care of our students in Richland 1. And I'm thanking the leadership ahead of schedule for all the work you will do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Bishop. Any other board reports? Okay, Commissioner Bishop, I appreciate both of your statements, your question about the laptops, and I'm glad you're concerned about those. And also, I'd like to announce that if anyone doesn't have a laptop, please email Commissioner Bishop. I'll also provide his cell phone number.
It's gonna for the spelling of my name is ROBERT.L. You know the rest.
Touche.
Love it.
On a serious note, to tag along with what Commissioner Bishop said, extra appreciation for all of our school staff, especially our counselors and social workers who in many instances will be working overtime to address the gaps that will occur when families do not get the level of extra support and benefits that they are used to getting. Obviously, that will impact our teachers in our classrooms and everything. So I know it's not School Social Worker Appreciation or School Counselor Appreciation Week or School Nurse Appreciation Week, but we're going to need to make it so because it will impact a lot of our families, and that those impacts are borne on the shoulders of the kids as they enter our buildings, and then the rest of the adults in the buildings try to address it as best we can. So thanks for recognizing that, Commissioner Bishop. If there aren't any other comments or questions, I want to thank the folks at Columbia High School once again. And I think without objection, before we adjourn, I want to announce that the next regular board meeting of the Richland 1 Board of School Commissioners will be held on November 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Stevenson Administration Building. And now, I think without objection, we are adjourned.